Welcome to this session on gift aid. We're going to be looking at how to keep your gift aid records and prepare to make a claim. Gift aid enables your church to claim 25 pence for every pound donated on eligible donations. So what makes a donation eligible? Firstly, there must be a gift aid declaration in place. If you have a gift aid declaration, you should know the person's name, house name or number, and postcode. And the date of the donation must be within the last 4 years. And of course, because this is linked to tax paid in the UK, they must be a UK taxpayer. There are two types of gift aid declarations. There's the permanent declaration, which is a declaration you keep on your file, and it covers declarations made previously or in the future. The second declaration will be on a visitor envelope where the person can complete their name, address, and postcode when they make the donation. If you don't have a declaration, you cannot include that donation in your gift aid claim. But the good news is that you can include it in your GADS claim. And so have a look at session 2 on how to make a GADS claim. This is what we call the vestry record, and it's used to make a note of any donations that have been made during a church service, and it's approved by HMRC. You'll see there that it includes guidance on recording the cash that's come in envelopes, in visitor envelopes, and then for the GADS element, the collection plate. More of that in session 2. So you keep one of these for every service you have and pass them to the treasurer. In terms of your own records, you might want to use a spreadsheet. If you're used to spreadsheets, then this sort of thing is useful. We can see here that we have green envelopes, which are numbered 1 to 5, and those are for the taxpayers. We have 2 green envelopes, which are for the non-taxpayers, so that would go into GADS along with the plate collection. And we also have Marigold Wilson, who has a standing order, and we put that in every month as well. You'll notice we don't have the full address, just the house name or number and the postcode. And we keep the records by week by week. If you don't want to use a spreadsheet, you can use a paper-based system, and this is one example. And you'll see there we've got the name, again, the house name or number and the postcode, and then the donations that are made. The important thing with both these systems is that it is the name which is the key to the records, not the weeks of the church services. So always make sure you have the names, whether it's a spreadsheet or a paper-based system. It is the name that HMRC needs to see. So having got your records in place, how long do you need to keep them? You need to keep your spreadsheets or paper records for 6 years plus the current year. Gift aid declarations only expire on someone's death, but you can destroy them if someone moves away and is unlikely to return. For envelopes, you need to keep, if you're using visitor envelopes, you need to keep those for 6 years, just like your records. But if you have regular giving envelopes and there is a pattern to how people give to your church, then what you can do is keep all of them for the last full year. Then you can choose an example month for the 5 years prior to that. So a month where most people are in church. So October, November is usually a good indicator, or January or February. So a month where you can say to HMRC, if you were audited, this is the pattern of giving in our church. Of course, if you don't want to do that, you can just keep all your envelopes for 6 years. There's no problem with doing that if you have the place to store them. So you've kept your records, you've got your vestry record showing the cash that's come out of the envelopes, that's gone off to the treasurer, and you have kept your spreadsheet or your paper records updated with the donations. So now you need to download something called the Gift Aid Schedule, and you can download it from the government website. Or your missionary or gift aid secretary, which we call a MAGAS, should have a copy they can let you have if you can't find it online. So this is what the schedule looks like. At the top, there are some examples that HMRC have put in to help you. Don't be thrown by those. Keep scrolling down, and then you'll see that you need to type in the date of the first donation you received in the claim period. This is because some churches do multiple claims throughout the year. You don't have to wait until the end of the church year to do your claim. So if you claim twice a year, you put the first date in there, and then HMRC can see clearly what the period covers. If you have made a mistake in a previous claim, then you put what you received, which was in excess of what you should have had, into that box. Okay. And then you start filling in the details of each donor, and then there should be one total for each donor at the end. So their title, Mr., Mrs., Reverend, whatever, their first name, last name, the house name or number, and the postcode. Now, there are a couple of columns there you might not need. Let's have a look at those. So aggregated donations, you don't need to worry about this because GADS replaces this. I'll go through that in session 2. And if you want to claim on a sponsored event, keep your sponsor forms as part of your records and just enter the total of the event. So put a yes in there if it's a sponsored event, and then put a total in the amount column. As you add in the donations, the total will automatically be calculated and displayed here. This is not the amount you will receive from HMRC, but the total amount of the donations. Then you need to save your schedule. Save it somewhere you can find it again. And if you could use the name of your church or the village where your church resides, that's really helpful for the Magas when they are doing their bit of the claim. So you then send your schedule to your Magas. You can either put it on a memory stick or send it by email. And then the Magas sends the schedule to HMRC via the government gateway. Yeah, they don't look like this when they're sending through a schedule, but the great thing about having a Magas in place is that they are sending schedules through multiple times a year, so they are much quicker at it generally than a church gift aid secretary who only does it once a year, and they have their systems in place. And once they've made the claim, then the money will land into the missionary bank account and be paid out to your church. So thank you for watching, and you might want to have a look at the session on making a GADS claim now.